Hey everyone, welcome back to West Coast Mopars. Today is a 1974 Datsun. It's a 260Z. So I'm just going to do a walk around of this car and show you guys what it is. Now I really know nothing about these. I'm not going to pretend that I do. I mostly know like sort of old Fords, old Chryslers, Mopars, stuff like that. I don't know really anything about this, so the reason it's here is I offer mechanical services on old cars, pretty much anything older than like 79, doesn't matter what it is. And this guy he's a painter, and he's offered to paint part of our house. So in trade, he asked me if I could get this Datsun started. Now, he says it's just the starter. He's not sure. Maybe it's a starter relay. I'll have to do some digging. He really doesn't know anything about like the mechanical of it. He just bought it. He loves it. He said his wife hates it. Apparently it's sitting in his driveway and she just wants it to go. So he said as long as it's here getting worked on, that everything's all good. So pretty neat little car. It's really small. Like I sat it. He towed it over and I sat in it to unload it off the tow truck, and man, I'm like right down to the ground. This thing's like shorter than my tractor over there. It's hilarious. It's got this huge tailpipe on it. Muffler's sitting sideways under there. It's got these aftermarket wheels. They look pretty good on there, the gold. And then the interior, we've got these round pods. It's a 5-speed. Maybe they were all 5 speeds. I don't know. I don't know the difference between a 260Z, a 270. I know there was 240. I don't know if that was older. This is a 74. I like how the releases are down here. It's kind of neat when you're sitting in the car. It's just down low, easy to grab. The speedometer reads 160 miles per hour. And then it looks like at about 6,500 RPM the tach turns yellow, and then at above 7 grand it's red. And it's got the sort of the back area there. He's put a bunch of parts back there in case I need them. That back hatch. I guess these were just 2-seaters. Not 4. And it looks like the hood opens the opposite way. Must be a latch up here. There it is. So it just sits up like that. It's pretty neat. Oh, perfect. 3 carbs. Just to make it extra complicated. There's some overspray on the bell housing, so I don't know if the engine's been gone through. It's got headers. I don't know if that's factory. Like I said, I really don't know much about these. This wiring's a little hot right here. So from what he said, he had the starter replaced, and it worked for, oh yeah, it's like brand new. It worked for a while, and then it just quit working again. So he just needs it, he basically just asked me, just get it started, and he's happy with that. And then we'll go from there. So, yeah, I'll take a look, see if I can figure this out. I'm hoping there's like a starter relay somewhere. Or, I'll have to trace the wiring back a little bit, see, maybe it's missing something, or maybe I can just bypass the starter. Hopefully it's just a starter or the starter relay, not like a bunch of melted wires somewhere, but we'll figure out when we get there. It's got some relays here. Yeah, neat little car. Anyways, let's see what we can do with this thing. Okay, well I got it running. I just fired it up. I don't think he's run it in a couple, well he hasn't run it all winter, so it's going to be a little rough, but it had a fueling issue, so I pulled the fuel line off the first carb right here, and it sounded like it had an airlock, so I cranked on the key. The starter works intermittently. I'll have to still look at that, but I wanted to get it running so I could get it in the shop and at least know what I got to work with here. But yeah, I cranked on the key and finally some fuel came. So I don't know if the fuel pump's weak or what's going on with it, but it's sure got a bad exhaust leak. It's got some goofy choke set up here with this cable, and it only chokes the first two. The third carb, it doesn't even have it hooked up. So see, if you pull it on it manually yourself, it works. So I don't know, what a goofy little setup. It's got pretty good spark. Yeah, I don't love that sound. Only a bad exhaust leak back there. Oh yeah, it's got, I can see some booger welds down on the bottom of the collector. So I'll just let it run for a while, warm up a little. I wonder if pulling on this choke cable will help it any. It might. It's got a thing here. Yeah, it's helping a little bit. There we go. And it did have the throttle linkage here. It was stuck. It was stuck like a quarter open or half open. So when I first fired it up, I didn't have it on the camera, but it was just screaming. So I shut it off right away, figured that out. Okay, so when you turn the key, it just clicks. There's nothing. Now, I've got a test light here on this wire. This goes to the solenoid. This goes to the external solenoid down here. Now, there was a connector on it, but it was really loose. It just pulled right off the wire, so that probably wasn't helping. It looks like he may have had an engine fire or something. Or not, maybe not Todd, the guy who has it now, but previous to him. I don't think he knows much about it, but like, look at this positive cable. Just melted and crispy. And if you look down here at this wiring harness, everything's melted here. There's new electrical tape here. There's a lot of stuff going on that I don't know if he knows, but the old fuel lines have been capped off and they've run new fuel line. There's just some weird stuff going on that leads me to believe, like, look at these where the wires go through here. See, this is new electrical tape, and this has just been cut off. But this is all melted. The heater core has been bypassed. They've just got it going to the block. So there's some weird stuff that I believe, it looks like probably, you know, down here is all melty. Everything's melted down here. The wiring is not the best. So yeah, I feel like there was probably an engine fire, and I hope they told Todd about it when he bought it from them, or if anybody knew. But he didn't mention anything about it, so I feel like he probably doesn't know. But anyways, back to the starter. I've got a test light on this wire going, this is from the key to the solenoid. So when you give it power, it should pull the plunger inside the solenoid here and engage the starter. So I've just got it grounded here on the hood latch. We'll go turn the key and just want to make sure that there is power going to that test light so that we know that it's just a problem with the starter. So here, I'll turn the key. There it is. You can see the light come on there. That means we have power to that wire. So that's great news. So from there, we know there's an issue with that starter. So I did call down the parts store. They can get a starter. It won't be here till Tuesday. I just ordered it as a just in case. So what I'm actually going to do is try and get the car started. So if you bypass it, right, put a screwdriver. I know this water hose is in the way, but if you put a screwdriver from this main lead here across to this, like the little wire, it will send juice straight to the starter and it'll crank the engine over. So right, so it will crank over. It's just that something's sticking inside the solenoid and not pulling when you send power to it. So I'm going to turn the key to the on position, try and get this thing fired up so I can move it into my shop. Okay, so I managed to get the engine running a little better. It's got a massive exhaust leak down on the end here. So it's just a temporary fix for now so that Todd can drive the car. So they call it spider patch. It's just an exhaust cement. It's just temporary. I'm not going to leave it, but to get that gasket out, that's also part of the intake gasket, and that's going to be a huge can of worms getting that out of there. There's all kinds of, like, the valve cover has been siliconed down. There's all kinds of stuff going on. This stud down here, this bolt, for the exhaust, is stripped partway in the head. So the other one was just sitting there. This one, I got it to tighten down until it just wants to just spin again. So hopefully that at least helps a little bit. I did add a spring here to the throttle linkage. It wasn't pulling back all the way, so it would stay open a little bit. So I'm revving high trying to drive through the yard. This is the choke cable someone's added, so the factory choke parts are gone. And it only reached this second carb. It went through the first one and the second. So I just basically took a little piece of wire and squished it down under this one for this choke and ran it to this one so you can choke the third carb. Because when you'd fire it up, you could only choke 2 carbs, and this one's running wide open, and then it would kind of sputter and have a hard time running. So that seemed to help quite a bit. I'm just basically doing little things. He really just asked me just to get it started, which I did in like half an hour, and I thought, well, that's not fair. We're trading some work, so I thought, well, I'll just keep going on it, and if I do more than he does, that's fine. I don't really care. Just keep the guy happy. I also changed the speedometer cable. So here's the new one here. The old one was broken right at the speedometer. When I undid it, a piece of it was still left behind in the speedometer. So he did say it didn't work, so that should help. Starter. This one, it's slightly angled different than the other one. The solenoid and the other one was kind of more towards the engine block. But I changed this, and it seems to crank way better now, which is good. These little doors are kind of neat. You just open them up. You can get to the battery. That one gets you to the washer fluid. But yeah, and underneath, the car's pretty good. It's got... Here, I'll just put it up on the hoist and you guys can take a look. And then it's got this... so I didn't know what this was. Todd had thought somebody had added this sort of body kit and the spoiler, but as I'm looking online, it looks like maybe this is a Fairlady, or it's been cloned. But same with that spoiler on the back. I don't know if that's accurate, but I don't know. You guys tell me. If you guys know your Datsuns, tell me what you think it is. Alright, so I just used some of that spider patch. It's just an exhaust cement. I did talk to the guy. We're going to wait to change that gasket just because it's clearly, I got to pull everything off here. Carbs, intake, exhaust, all the linkage. So we're going to wait to do that. But I did that exhaust cement and it seemed to have worked. You can see where it was shooting all the exhaust up before. It's obviously been leaking a while. The carb linkage I don't love. I did add a spring. It just made the pedal a little stiffer. It kind of sticks, so it'll pull the carbs open just a hair, and then the idle's a little higher than I'd like, but yeah, it's just one thing at a time here. After doing some research, you guys with Datsuns probably know all about this. This has a seatbelt interlock, and now the seatbelt, they have been unplugged under the seats because the seats in there are not factory. But there still has the big red emergency button. So it's pretty funny. It says push. So if there's an issue with the car not starting or the seatbelt interlock, you push this emergency button and it basically resets it. It's kind of ridiculous. It's almost like they knew it was going to fail, so they put that in there. But another way is you can unplug this harness that comes to the button and just link 2 of the wires together. Now, I didn't bother yet because I have been able to get it started. So, hopefully, yeah, well, we'll see. I did tell the guy we may have to go that route. bypass that. But for now, it seems to be starting. So, yeah, starts fine. That clicking is actually the fuel pump relay. But yeah, see, it's low idle. It's a little bit, it runs a little rough. If you give it a little gas, oh, it's not doing it now, but sometimes it sticks. Still has a very minor exhaust leak, but it's not like it was. Now I did take it for a drive just around the block just to see what it does. This thing sure rips, man. It goes pretty quick. Oh man, look at that fan. I don't love that. I don't know if you can see that wobbling like crazy. Well, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Just another neat car at the shop. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Neat little 74 Datsun 260Z.